His training regime isn't just about hitting balls or drilling volleys. It's about priming his body so that when he steps onto the court, every sprint, every slide, every serve, every recover step is backed by physical readiness. That readiness demands muscle that can generate explosive power, joints that can move fluidly, a core that can transfer force seamlessly, and conditioning that can endure long rallies without fatigue. It demands more than raw strength or speed in isolation. It demands integration. Then came the setback. At Wimbledon 2025, Dimitrov was locked in a fourth-round battle with Jannik Sinner and leading by 2 sets and a break when his right pectoral muscle tore mid-match on center court. That abrupt injury forced him out of the match and into recovery, a moment both painful and pivotal. But it's exactly in this kind of adversity that the importance of his conditioning regime becomes crystal clear. Because conditioning isn't just about playing at your best. It's about allowing you to come back when the inevitable physical blow happens. When a key muscle tears, or a joint gives way, or fatigue catches up mid-tournament, the athlete who has primed their body understands not only how to perform, but how to heal, rebuild, maintain, adapt. Dimitrov's strength and conditioning work has done more than elevate his game. It has built layers of resilience. Consider the upper body symmetry he developed over the years. The shoulders, chest, scapula, arms all tuned to coordinate in delivering serves, smashes, and defense. That tuning means when the pec was compromised, the supporting muscles and structure still had solidity. It means the kinetic chain, from foot plant, through hips, through core, through shoulder, through arm, had been rehearsed so often that when one link faltered, the chain didn't collapse. It just paused and reorganized. When the injury happened, his body's preparation allowed the rest of the system to maintain function, to protect, to adapt, rather than unwind entirely. Beyond that, his lower body and core work, ingrained over the years, remained his anchor. While the injured pec demanded modification in his regimen, the legs, hips, and trunk stayed active and strong. That meant he could continue to condition his body, maintain cardiovascular capacity, preserve fast-twitch muscle readiness, sustain mobility, and readiness to accelerate, decelerate, and recover. This is critical. An elite tennis player cannot pause everything because of one injury. If the legs drop off or the core softens, the return becomes twice as hard. By keeping the base strong, hips, quads, glutes, hamstrings, calves, core, Dimitrov maintained the foundation upon which his upper body comeback could build. Flexibility and mobility also play a major role in this story. His ability to move well, to change direction, to extend for wide balls, to recover fast, all stem from a body that has been encouraged to move through full ranges, to maintain elasticity in muscle and tendon, to stay supple, even under load. That flexibility helps mitigate injury and supports the rehab process. When a muscle is healing, you cannot rigidly force it. You must work around it, maintain motion in the surrounding tissues, keep the joints healthy, allow circulation, and prevent stiffness. Dimitrov's chances of returning effectively hinge on how smartly he uses this mobility, how intelligently he avoids overloading the pectoral area while keeping all the rest active, fluid, and ready. Endurance in tennis is often overlooked, but absolutely vital. Serving one set is one thing. Serving 5 sets is another. Mid-match, strength fades, form deteriorates, mechanics change, and injuries often strike at the moment of fatigue. Dimitrov's regimen has always anticipated that. Long rallies, high heart rate maintenance, repeated directional changes, and frequent recovery cycles. Because of this, when the injury occurred, he did not step into a void of inactivity, unable to move. His conditioning meant he had a platform from which to slide into a rehab-friendly phase, rather than one where his fitness had atrophied overnight. He kept his heart rate up, his lungs capable, his legs responsive, his core rehearsed. So when the upper body was limited, he remained an athlete in every sense, not an idle patient. The importance of this work becomes even clearer when you consider the mental dimension. Dimitrov has spoken openly about the pain of his Wimbledon exit, calling it one of the most difficult moments of his career. But the physical preparation he's put in underpins his confidence in recovery. He's not walking back in blind. He's walking back in knowing that his body has been cultivated for such moments. That sense of preparedness, that deep physical readiness, fosters mental calm. When an athlete knows that their legs can still fire, their core can still stabilize, their arms can still execute, even if one part is healing, they don't panic. They don't hurry. They rehabilitate with purpose. His rehabilitation process is a masterclass in how to leverage conditioning, working around the injury, not around the body. That means while the pectoral area heals, he still pushes the rest of his body to improve, to support the injured area, to maintain full system readiness. That is the essence of high-level rehab. Build overall fitness, stay strong, maintain motion, preserve power, hold speed, and reduce downtime. His condition prior to injury means he entered rehab not as a weakened athlete, but as a well-prepared one. And his awareness of his body means he can monitor, adjust, and respect the healing process. When he returns, as he undoubtedly will, he will bring more than just healed tissue. He will bring sharpened lower body, refined footwork, improved core stability, heightened body awareness, and perhaps a refreshed upper body, free from previous compensations. The work he's done behind the scenes means his comeback is not merely a return, it's a reset. It's a chance to re-hone movement, to refine patterns, to eliminate hidden weaknesses, to emerge stronger exactly where he once got hurt. This isn't theoretical. The specifics of his tear, confirmed via medical sources, show that a pectoral tear in tennis arises when the muscle is forced to contract while stretched during an explosive movement such as serving or volleying. For a tennis player of Dimitrov's caliber, that tear halts production, but it can't halt preparation. Because his powerful foundation means that while one system is offline, others pick up the slack and keep him preparing. That's why his legs sprint, his core stabilizes, his hip drive stays primed, even as the chest area heals. The rehabilitation becomes not merely restoration, but transformation. I've watched many elite athletes. The ones who truly impress are not those who shine in one tournament because they practiced forehands for months. They are those who have programmed their bodies to handle the entire spectrum of tennis performance: power, movement, endurance, and flexibility. Grigor Dimitrov is in that elite category. His body has been disciplined and prepared for the grind, and now, as he recovers, his training becomes a blueprint for how to stay engaged, maintain readiness, and come back better. So yes, watch this video, because there's a lot of value here. For your upper body, your lower body, and your core. Because the principles are universal. Build strength so you generate power, build mobility so you stay resilient, build endurance so you maintain quality through time, build control so you transfer force efficiently. When injury strikes, your work is not lost, it becomes your advantage. Your body hasn't just been built to play at its peak, it has been built to bounce back, to adapt, to overcome. Dimitrov's movement hasn't suddenly changed. His speed hasn't vanished. Even while recovering, his awareness, his readiness, and his capacity to re-enter competition remain intact. That's the payoff of rigorous conditioning. That's why when he fully returns, you won't just see the player who was injured, you'll see someone who has evolved. Someone who isn't just counting down to the next match, but counting up to the next level. And let me say this, I have no doubt he'll be back in action better than ever. He's a great guy, highly tuned to his body, disciplined beyond the baseline. The training he has done behind the scenes isn't flashy, but foundational. It's not headline-grabbing, but heart-preparing. And his injury, painful though it was, has become a catalyst, not a setback. When the serve flies, when the legs explode, when the court opens up for him again, the physical preparation will show. The muscles will respond. The movement will be sharp. The confidence will be restored. And underneath it all, the conditioning will be the silent engine powering his comeback.